his little minions are forming a little buffer, keeping him away from him.
I know that.
I said, you know, if that's how you want to represent your candidate and represent his ideals, you know, that doesn't reflect very good on him.
In the blue and white sweatshirt?
Yeah, him and the taller guy over there.
I got your back. I mean, I made it perfectly clear to her that you have a right to carry.
Well, and she apologized. She said you were right. You don't have to identify yourself because there's no crime. Her officer, and she admitted it and she apologized, and I thank her for that because how often do cops apologize when they're wrong, right?
Well, now you're bringing up a point. I mean, how many sheriffs apologize when they're wrong?
Any of them.
No, I know. And I'm all for the right to carry.
Yep.
I pay to be a lobbyist for the city. You know what they told me when I went for my license? I haven't renewed it this year, but when I went for my license, they said, "Oh no, you don't have any governing with the city of Milwaukee for the right to carry." I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "No, that's on the," he goes, "That's on the federal level. That's a state." I said, "No, it's not, because there's too many issues within the city of Milwaukee that people or policing argue with the right to carry." And my point, for an example, you haven't had this done to you, and I'm just waiting for it to open your eyes a little bit. And I mean it in a good way. Believe it or not, if somebody accuses you that you pulled your gun, they'll take your gun from you. And it takes you like 8 signatures, stamping, and all the district attorney, Milwaukee attorney.
Show up at court.
Yeah. I went through all that. And guess what? The person that accused me never even filed the charges. And then I got detained for 72 hours in the county lockup. And they had to let me go prior to that. I'm diabetic. I got no medication for the stay in there. All they do is poke my finger to say, "Oh,
good enough.
175, yeah. Where's my metformin to keep it under control? You know, where's my anxiety medication? Because I got post-traumatic stress disorder. I've never been in the military, but I got robbed 2 out of 3 times with a gun to my head. Working at Family Dollar at 60th and Half. You know, so, but anyway, you know.
And that's why Wisconsin, the legislature passed a preemption statute saying, hey, you can't have stricter rules than the state does. And the same applies for knives now, too. So, Milwaukee still has the law on the books about the 3-inch knife or 3.5, whatever it was, but they can't enforce it anymore because of the state preemption.
Well, the reason why they can't reinforce anything over 3.5, you're not supposed to unless you have a permit to carry.
Not anymore. You don't need a permit to carry a knife anymore at all. That changed back in, I think it was February or April. They changed, you can carry a freaking Claymore if you want, openly or concealed without a license. As long as you can legally own a firearm, you can carry a knife open or concealed without a permit. Without a permit.
Oh, without a permit?
Without a permit.
You know, that I didn't know.
That changed this year.
I got detained, believe it or not, when I was 22 or 23 years old at County Stadium because I had a knife in my pocket. Actually, I had a box cutter in my pocket. They said, "Why do you have a box cutter in your pocket and you're at an event like this?" Because I work in freight.
Okay.
You know, I'm a truck driver, so I have that around so I can break up pallets and deliver the product to the store. This isn't your workplace. No, but I normally in my pocket.
Put it in my pocket. Yeah.
So they didn't charge me, but they shoved me 20 feet out of the prison or the lockup doors, me and my buddy, 20 feet away. And then in the distance, they said, "We don't want you back here." And they threw my knife in the air at me.
Yeah, the law that they passed with the knife is called the switchblade law. You can now own switchblades again in Wisconsin.
Well, yeah, to me that was a little bit of a gray area. But
now it's completely legal. Switchblades, butterfly knives are all legal now.
You got my card. I really like to talk to you and see my. Here's a couple of my cards, but I really would like to meet with you sometime.
You got a pen on you? I can write my name and Facebook down here because I run a Pro Gun Wisconsin Facebook page.
Are you on the internet? I mean, you can text me your information.
All right.
That's my real number, or it's Dan the Blessed Man.
All right.
I'll get it. I don't. You know, funny you say that. Usually I have pens with me, but my answer is here.
I left mine in my motorcycle.
Oh.
I could really freak them out, but I got my AK in the motorcycle too. I was arrested by Wauwatosa PD for carrying in the park, Madison Park.
You got a ticket for it?
They arrested me. They gave me an order to appear before the DA. I showed up before the DA with the lieutenant. The DA's like, yeah, you didn't break the law. I'm like, hello, that's what I told them. Well, you were in a school zone. I said I got a CCL, so that don't matter. Oh, you can't do that.
Well,
all right, DA told them different.
You need a funny thing you want to do, but I don't want you to do it literally. But I was at Lena Taylor's event on Friday, free coffee. My point is that she mentioned that gun carrier. Way back before her and I were even born. I'm 56, but anyway, my point is you can take a gun as long as it's not loaded and carry it and wave it over your head. And that law's been around for over 60, 70 years.
Yeah, open carry in Wisconsin has been legal since it became a state.
Yeah.
Because the way laws are normally set up is restrictions. So if there's not a law in place stopping it, it's legal. So they never made a law preventing open carry. So we have always been an open carry state. It wasn't until like 2009, 2010 or whatever that the Attorney General issued an opinion saying that open carry couldn't be considered disorderly conduct.
Okay.
Because they say they show up here, and this is before concealed carry, and this opinion, they say, well, we don't like it, we're going to issue a citation for disorderly conduct because someone didn't like it.
Yeah. That's the loophole. That's kind of a...
So now when they pass concealed carry, they also added the wording in there under 66.0409 subsection 2. Section 2 is the preemption part. 6 is saying you can't apply disorderly conduct or any other such ordinance, statute against someone for carrying a firearm openly or concealed or loading it.
Yeah.
So
I know you'll find this kind of silly, but I'll share it with you. I don't even chamber a bullet because I know I have enough. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you this, but I know in my mind that I got enough time around me to chamber. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well,
I know it takes 4 to 6 seconds.
No, it don't take that long.
I know, but people argue.
The first offensive gun use in Wisconsin after concealed carry passed was here in Milwaukee at the Aldi's.
Yeah.
I know him.
You know him.
He did not have a round in the chamber.
Really?
Because under the stress, he pulled his gun, pointed it, clicked. Now, the guy he shot, the shotgun was unloaded. If that shotgun would have been loaded, very likely he would have been dead. But because of the stress of the situation, he didn't remember to rack one. He carries one in the chamber all the time now.
But see now, somebody, I was just talking now about the situation because that's always in my head about that. They were told me he was accused of a felony.
Yeah, he's been convicted of a felony. It's in appeals.
Okay.
They went after him for...
Yeah, I know, bullshit on it.
It is, and it was over being the executor of someone's estate.
Yeah.
And they've been going after him ever since because they expected the first concealed carry license holder to use it in self-defense to look like a hillbilly redneck or something like that. Instead, it's a black Muslim.
Yeah. I know.
You know what? I support the guy 100% for what he did.
So do I.
His wife carries.
No, but
I support that too. But yeah, he's fighting it.
Yeah. But no, I'd like all three of us to sit down and have coffee, but I just, because I don't think that's right. It's like you said about the disorderly conduct, that's the one thing that they can throw at you.
Not anymore.
Well, they tried to do it against me already.
Right. Yeah.
And again, I'm not quoting the statute number, but I'm telling them you can't do this. Right. And I said, if you're going to do this to me, I want every time I get an altercation, kind of, sort of, I ask for a lieutenant. I want a lieutenant on site. Because if he speaks the wrong language or interprets it wrong, it's his ass on the line.
Right.
And you should have been with me on Friday at 5:30, Police and Fire Commission. I got 2 minutes to speak now on this.
Yesterday?
Yeah. Next time it comes up, you should try to keep me in mind.
Well, I work second shift.
Oh.
I called into work yesterday because my grandpa's not well at all.
Sorry to hear that.
But it is what it is. Once he goes, he'll be better off because he's suffering. They got him all up on morphine. He's basically
I just want to grab a picture.
sleeping until he's done. Go ahead.